Good evening, and welcome back to the final moments of our interview with Ms. Noor Siddiqui, the CEO and founder of Engineer, a company focused on bringing rural education to girls in rural India, hands-on science and engineering education by, for example, teaching girls how to make solar lamps so they can bring electricity to their villages, as well as pairing girls and their families with mentors to encourage families to educate their girls and to feel comfortable with their daughters receiving an education. Ms. Siddiqui, you've accomplished so much in your life. Can you tell us, what is the secret to your success?
Thank you, Maria. So much of my company is focused on educating girls that are often negatively influenced by the patriarchal society of India. I guess it's very ironic that I owe my success to two men, my father and my husband. I remember Abba coming back from work in the evening with his hands laden with puzzles and books. He even taught me how to take apart a computer. I think I was 13 when I built him a computer for his birthday. He still has it in the study of his home.
That's wonderful, but it does seem surprising that a girl from rural India was allowed to pursue her dreams that didn't revolve around having a family or getting married. Why do you think you were able to do that?
There were definitely many challenges along the way. So much of India is focused on educating boys because the assumption is that women will just stay home and take care of their family and children after they're married. Thankfully, Abba didn't share those points of view and always insisted that I follow my dreams and study hard.
Why do you think your father had such a different point of view?
I think it was because of my Dadi Ammi, my paternal grandmother. She was married off at a very young age. She couldn't even get to complete high school, and I guess she always wished she had. I think my father saw that sadness in her eyes and just didn't want to repeat that same pattern with our generation.
Were there any challenges or obstacles along the way?
Yeah, there were definitely many instances where things could have landed up very differently. I think I was 16 when my chacha, that's my paternal uncle, brought forward a very suitable match for me. And there was so much of pressure for my family to accept, but my father put his foot down and said, no, she has to get at least a Bachelor of Arts. This caused quite an uproar in my family because my relatives just couldn't understand why I needed so much of education to get married.
Why do you think your family felt that way?
I guess one concern was definitely age, because in my part of the country, girls get married off very young. And secondly, I think my relatives thought that getting a college education would help me to properly take care of my family and my husband, and then that had become very opinionated.
Well, it sounds like your father really looked out for you.
You know, he did, and he still does. I remember growing up, Abba would love to take me to the park to play cricket with the boys. And this in itself was quite a scandal, especially as I grew older. One evening, Jalal, my cousin, very infuriated after I hit a really strong sixer, said, why can't you stay home with your Ammi and cook just like my sister does? Why can't you be normal? To that, my ever-possessive father responded, Jalal, why don't you stay home with your Ammi and help her cook just like I do with my wife? You be normal. Abba always taught me that a woman can do anything that a man can.
And your family's concerns that you wouldn't be able to get married because you'd become too educated, didn't it actually in fact come true because you are married and you have children? How did you meet your husband?
I met my husband in college when I was checking out a book in the library about the life of Margaret Thatcher. He tried so hard to flirt with me, but I really made him work for it. Flowers and poetry didn't really do anything for me. He was so kind. He always asked my opinion on matters. We had lively debates, always asked what I was reading. And then one evening, he shows up in my dorm room with a box full of books about the life of Margaret Thatcher, Benazir Bhutto, Indira Gandhi, Marie Curie. After that, I was completely hooked. I finally met a man who appreciated me for my intellect and not for my ability to cook.
So one question I have is, here in the United States, we see just as many women, if not more, than men going on, getting college educations, getting higher education, but yet there's still a persistent glass ceiling that women face in the workforce, particularly after they get married, after they have children. Since you have children, was there ever any pressure or expectation from your husband, your family, or even your employer about taking a back seat once you have those children?
To be honest, raising children in America is definitely a team effort. As they say, it takes a village. You know, my kids come up to me when they need help with their homework, but they completely moan and groan when they hear mommy is cooking dinner. I'm really lucky. You know, Omar's been a great support. I've received a lot of support at work as well. He helps around in the house with the kids, and he's always pushed me to achieve my dreams as I have done for him. And I guess in those tough evenings, he can always woo us with his biryanis.
It sounds like you're a very lucky woman.
Come on, Maria. I would say that he's the lucky one, right? Anyway, I do hope that through Engineer, I can provide the same opportunities to girls in India, just like the ones I received myself.
Thank you so much, Ms. Siddiqui, for taking the time to be with us. Ms. Noor Siddiqui, CEO of Engineer, a force not to be messed with either on the cricket ground or the boardroom.